We're ready. It's a temporary order. Mom's on the phone. No answer.
Oh, Maria, can you get me my glasses, please? I think they're on my desk. Thank you. Good afternoon. This is call number 2020-33849 in the interest of Tario Smith, Trichet, and Tashay Strickland. Please, parties, raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, ma'am. Please tell me your name and how you're related to these children.
Waukesha Smith. I'm the mother of all three children.
Okay, and for the state?
Marcella Turner.
Court will note that the non-custodial parent, Antonio Strickland, is not present. Is that correct, Ms. Turner?
That's correct, Your Honor.
He was served on October 7th.
Yes, correct.
2020 at 11:01 a.m. at 5791 East Hampton Drive, Unit C, Houston, Harris County, Texas. And he has not filed an answer. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And we're having a temporary hearing?
Yes, that's also correct.
All right, let's proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, the state would like to call Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith, what are the names of the children before the court today? And as you give the name of each child, could you also state the age?
Tariq Smith, age 4. Trichet Strickland, age 2. Tashay Strickland, age 1.
And who is the father of Tariq Smith?
Antonio Strickland.
And who is the father of Trichet Denise Strickland?
Antonio Strickland.
And are you currently married?
No, I'm not.
And were you married at the time of conception of Trichet and Tariq?
No, I was not.
And were you sexually involved with anyone else other than Mr. Strickland at the time of conception for Tariq?
No, I was not.
And were you sexually involved with anyone else other than Mr. Strickland at the time of conception for Trichet Strickland?
No, I was not.
And is there any possibility that anyone else other than Mr. Strickland could be the father of Tariq and Trichet Smith? I'm sorry, Tariq Smith and Trichet Strickland.
No, ma'am.
And how does Tariq's last name reflect, or what is the last name listed on Tariq's current birth certificate?
Smith.
And are you asking this court to order that Tariq's last name remain as Smith?
Yes.
And how is Trichet's last name listed on her birth certificate?
Strickland.
And are you additionally asking this court to order that Trichet's last name remain as Strickland as well?
Yes.
And Mr. Strickland, did he ever reside here in the state of Texas?
Yes, he did.
And were these babies conceived in the state of Texas? And I'm referring to Tariq and Trishay.
Yes, they were.
And do you recall signing an acknowledgement of paternity for Tyshay Strickland?
Yes.
And to your recollection, did Mr. Strickland also sign that acknowledgement of paternity for Tyshay?
Yes.
And so in regards to Tariq and Trishay, are you asking this court to establish the parent-child relationship between Mr. Strickland and those two children?
Yes.
And where is Mr. Strickland today? Have you spoken to him at all?
To my knowledge, he is in Memphis, Tennessee.
And what's he doing there in Memphis? Does he live there? Are you aware of whether or not he lives there or here?
Last thing I've heard, he resides there with his mother.
And are you asking this court to order that you and Mr. Strickland be appointed as joint managing conservators and you be designated as the conservator who determines where these children reside without regard to geographic location?
Correct.
Is that a yes or a no?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And is there private medical and dental insurance available for all three of these children right now?
Not private, no ma'am.
Okay. And as of right now, do you have any concerns with all of the children being granted overnight visitation, or I'm sorry, with Mr. Strickland being granted overnight visitation with all of the children, like as of today's date?
I have no problem.
Okay. But in addition to that, you said that two of the children are under the age of 3. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And are you asking this court to order a modified possession access schedule for all of the children for right now to keep them under the same visitation schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
And once the youngest baby turns age 3, are you then asking that this court order that the possession and access schedule default to the standard possession and access schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand what that entails? Had an opportunity to kind of briefly go over that?
Yes, ma'am. I understand completely.
Okay. And to your knowledge, does Mr. Strickland have any other children, biological children under the age of 18?
Yes.
How many? How many?
I don't know for sure. I can only speak on one other from outside of mine.
And do you know whether or not he has a child support obligation for that child?
I do not know for sure.
Okay. And do you know whether or not that child lives with Mr. Strickland?
I do not believe the child lives with Mr. Strickland.
Okay. And to your knowledge, is Mr. Strickland currently employed?
Yes, to my knowledge, he is.
Okay. Do you know where he works? Do you have any knowledge on your own as to where he works?
Company called DHL.
Okay. Was that information that you learned here today, or did you know it prior to today?
I've been told once before, but I forgot. And so once I did see it today, it kind of came back to me.
Okay. And are you aware of how much he is earning monthly at that
No,
particular employer?
no, ma'am.
Okay. And so you understand that in this temporary order, we will temporarily set the child support off of minimum wage until we can obtain some sort of wage information as to his income. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you asking this court to order cash medical support in the amount of $60 beginning January 1st of 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
And then in addition to that, are you also asking this court to temporarily set child support at the amount of $323 beginning January 1st of 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that the retroactive child support issue will be determined at that final hearing. Is that also correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you believe this temporary default order to be in the best interest of all 3 of your children?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any safety concerns with Mr. Strickland having access to your address within this order?
No, ma'am, I don't.
And are you asking this court to approve this temporary default order?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions for this witness. I'll pass the witness.
All right, the court will approve the temporary order and set a final hearing April 13th, 2021.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Smith, just
Yes.
1 second, okay?
One
Okay.
more.